Greetings across the earth. Again, greetings, greetings, and give thanks and praise. Now it's the willful ignorance of the private chartered guilds of the Roman cult. Yeah, man. So, are the very same bar attorneys, very same bar members, attorneys. That's what we call the private chartered guild. And also the brutish territorial gangsters. Yeah, we call them land pirates. They are foreigners and them employ our people in order to suppress, downpress, oppress, and trying to convert the people from man and woman to commodities, persons. Anyway, it's the canons of positive law, jurisdiction of law. I'm gonna get this from the One Heaven platform. Yeah, because I'm all so associated with this platform, truly. Only because of the information what this platform share. And I've been familiar with the Euclidean group for probably many, many years. I tell you, when I start out, I used to focus on the canon laws and what it entails. However, when you find yourself in the actual situation, then you will gain clarity if you're astute enough. Hence, we share information from this perspective. Truth. Because truth is sovereign in their commercial arena, in their commercial venue, in their commercial world. Now it's a Canon 3146. Guilty is an ancient commercial legal term associated with private chartered guilds of the Roman cult. Why them say Roman cult? Because it come out of Rome, basically. And this is when Rome usurped the divine power, the divine truth. When them have a pope classify himself as the vicar or the voice of the Most High Creator. This is where we say fire burn for them Dionysus ideology, for them Dionysus Greek philosophy. Only true we have a mind of our own, and it works exceptionally well. And because we are receptive to learning, then if we come upon any inconsistency or error, then we can make the adjustment, the amendment, the correction, and move forward. So again, guilty is an ancient commercial legal term associated with the private bar association of the Roman cult throughout Europe from the 13th century, meaning either a payment made in gold to a private guild or a debt or fine owed to the private guild. So guilty mean either a payment made in gold to the private guild or a debt or fine owed to the very private guild. Now you see, when we go in a court, what we are dealing with and who we are dealing with, this is why I say it's a foreign vessel in dry dock. It's a foreign jurisdiction. These people are foreign to us, irrespective of what they say to you, irrespective of how they look to you. They sign a contract and make a vow of allegiance and took an oath to a foreign crown, a foreign king, a foreign empire. No different from the people that call themselves Moors. They take a allegiance and vow to a Moroccan sultan. So this is what we call truth. Go do your own research, qualify it, or dismiss it. But we don't mind to present it. Because enough of them attorney them go on too much. And when them go on, a man like me, we don't mind to put them in the correct place. You understand? As just an agent, we cannot present any first-hand knowledge on a sworn affidavit. No attorney can do that. Absolutely none. Say I'm lying. The official currency of the Kingdom of the Netherlands until the introduction of the euro was called gulden, guilder, in honor of the origin of debt or currency system of ancient private chartered guilds of the Roman cult. One and the same. So this is where you see the finance come in. Anyway, let's go on to Canon 3147. I think we touched on this a couple days ago. The word guilty originates from the 14th century English Dutch guild, from 13th century Venetian or Italian gilda, meaning guild, payment in gold, debt, or fine owed to the guild. The word guild itself derived from the 8th century Khazarian Magyar language, kulta meaning gold. In the Finnish language today, kulta still means gold and kilta means guild. Canon 3148. Consistent with the ancient practice of private chartered guilds of the Roman cult from the 13th century, a guild could lawfully detain as surety a non-guild member who was guilty and therefore unable or unwilling to pay a debt or fine owed to the guild. So, I hope my people follow a little bit, until the debt was paid. Now, when you go in a court like how me in a traffic court, apparently, it seemed like these attorneys do their own thing. I remember we said the constitutional common law where the Bill of Rights is, we said them guys are not supposed to make no laws, which is this parliament with all of these people, should not make no laws, nor any organ of the state, meaning the executive branch where the PM is, shall take no action. So Parliament shall pass no law, and Andrew Holiness in his executive office shall take no action to abrogate, abridge, or infringe the people's inherent fundamental rights and freedom. And that are the law. So anything where these bar associated members, these guild members are bring forward, and I say, we can challenge them. This is why you hear me say, if them claim is not, issued in the form of an affidavit, which is a sworn affidavit, then we can challenge them. That means for them now put them personal, commercial liability on the line. Them a play games. Them a run that risk management program where them fool you because them send you inside of the foreign universities and dumb you down. What them teach you in a school is something totally opposite and different from what them are going with in them commercial area. I remember we are express what commercial is and how foundational commerce is. This is how we're going to hold these people accountable. But the only way. It's the only way. So we have to ascertain the basic information so we can gain clarity or honorable clarification. So you have to know who the adversary is. So when all some famous entertainers and superstars hire these attorneys, know it's a game, know it's a risk, because these attorneys are always limited. Their allegiance is always to their court or their bar, never to you. And if there's any conflict, you gotta take a back seat as the client. Because these guys, just like how they won't put their personal commercial liabilities on the line, them not do it for you. Them not gonna lose them pompous job or position for you who is a client, what them consider a slave, what them consider the victim, what them call you defendant. But this is what me have to say. Even when you're a defendant or the accused, there is rights there for you as an accused. This is why if we not have accurate knowledge, then we're going to have problem out here. And these people are going to always get away with all kind of red rum, turn back way, murder, genocide. Just the very arbitrariness of the system that is in place is outside of law. Just the very despotic conduct, tyrannical activities of the present government, all of it is outside of the law. But if the people agree, then them are going to say nothing wrong. How the people agree? You delegate these unqualified people. You delegate your authority, a little bit of it, and them take all of it and act as if they are the masters when they can only be the public trustee. However, by tacit acquiescence or any kind of formal or informal agreement, they'll flip that script on you and make you that trustee temporarily so they can fleece your trust account, your birth trust account. This is what all of this shenanigan is all about. It's about, money. It's about control. And we now are cognizant that the illusion they present in front of us as money, we know different. We know it's all negotiation. We know it's just words on paper. And if you apply yourself, then you can create your own negotiable instrument, because they need your consent, they need your signature, they need your autograph, they need your mark in order to initiate anything at all. They need your monogram. Them kind of information, yeah. I know where everybody are gonna break down and share. Because everybody is in a rush. You understand? They want to get to where the money is, not realizing that's the trap. That's where you'll be enslaved. Yeah, man. Socially and economically enslaved. And that is due to the lack of knowledge. That's all it is. Yeah, man. So we say Canon 3148. Again, consistent with the ancient practice of private chartered guilds of the Roman cult from the 13th century, a guild could lawfully detain as surety a non-guild member, meaning anyone away when a part of them club. Any member of society who is not a part of this guild, foreign guild, this bar association. Remember, bar association member who was guilty and therefore unable or unwilling to pay a debt. How we pay a debt? We can't pay nothing because there's nothing substantial to pay with. So any debt will come along, including these prison debt, you can discharge it if you know what you're doing. Easily. Because who give these man and woman any kind of authority over an next man or woman? By what standard? Them purport themselves to be gods. By whose standard? What attorney? What state agent? From what state agency? In your corporate capacity, meaning you're a corporation, meaning it is impossible for you to presume to have any kind of sovereignty. Totally impossible. That exclusively reserved for the man and woman of this earth. But again, through silent deception and inducement to participate in commercial fraud. And the willful ignorance of us as a people, then we allow ourselves to make some fancy sissy, well-dressed fancy sissy deceive us, talking about their attorneys. It's like my survive cartel case, and our judiciary tried this case and failed. And when them take it to the Supreme, to the Privy Council, them toss it back out and say, on a fail. That means the accused is absolved of any criminal activity. Now, if you don't want a retrial, then on a very laws are going to cry out and say double jeopardy. So I want to make a mess of it. This is why I say follow the rule of law. If you don't follow due process, you wouldn't have this situation. Because if a man say I'm bad man, I think he's going to stop bad overnight. No, just use patience and you catch him red-handed. And in this day and age, people are going to always talk on themselves. These people are so, smart. They'll always, you don't have to look for no evidence for them. They will, provide all the evidence you people need so that you can convict them. They will do that themselves. All you have to do is be patient. But the moment you go break the law and say you try enforce some other policy, then you got, chaotic. So irrespective of the games that I see being played out there, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of technicalities and who people believe, But I can never trust these attorneys who pledge allegiance to some foreign crown, period. Foreign group, foreign organization where them have no control over. I can't trust these people. I'm not saying they're all bad, can't say that. But I will say their agenda is not for the people. So irrespective of what they must say, them a fight crime, it's all commercial business, my people. It is all commercial business. And these attorneys are the culprit. On the mainland, the Congress, 98% of people who occupy the seat in Congress, they are attorneys. On the island here, it's the very same thing. It's just that it's a mixture of people who are unqualified and unlearned. Them just get the position because them sleep with some foreign people or, Usually that's what it is. Because in the demonic world, it's, sex and money. That's it. That's their voice. That, that's the vice them use for entrap people. So anytime you want to have discipline, know you're going to get swept away easily. Without discipline, you'll be swept away, my people. If the person had insufficient gold to pay the guild could then issue a bond called the guilt bond against the flesh as surety and then sell it as a means of recovering the debt or fine owed to them. Wanna hear that? Wanna hear what these attorneys doing? Wanna hear that the true human trafficking, the true slave trade? This is why I say the Road Traffic Act is unconstitutional, and this new 2022 Road Traffic Act, where them remove Part 2 and Part 4 from those provisions that even make it more so unconstitutional. But if the people choose to subject themselves to the will of these cross-dressing politicians, then that's their free will choice. This attorney, in fact, can't get involved. You'd have to, probably seek counsel from me. And in order for me to aid you in any way, you'd have to sign an affidavit giving I power of attorney just to conduct whatever business. When I want it over all of your affairs, just for whatever business that is at hand. This is how we function. Not to be loud. Truth. Remember, everything what we see out there, it's commerce, irrespective of how it look. And truth supreme in commerce. And you can't conduct no kind of commercial transaction without some kind of security agreement in place. Yeah, man. So they either have to take them time and, try figure this thing out, opposed to just a follow the crowd. Usually the crowd always wrong, believe it or not. Yeah, because it's always the adversary that direct the activities of the crowd. Yeah, man. So again, them people are engaged in a sophisticated slavery, but because the people, the willful ignorance of the people, you know what I mean? Them voluntarily subject themselves to this thing, this enslavement. Again, if the person had insufficient money to pay the bar member attorneys, then the bar member attorneys then issue a bond called guilt bond against the flesh of the man or woman as surety, and then sell that flesh as a means to recover whatever debt or fine being owed to this bar member association, to these attorneys. This is why them deal with it like this, because everybody are sharing of the profits. Look at these people with a different perspective now, don't it? Different light are shine on these sophisticated, pompous people. Now I say all of them bad enough, but majority of them are mislead and deceive intentionally. Majority. This practice has continued for more than 700 years until the present day, with the private bar guild, one of the last surviving and fully functioning private chartered guild. So yes, the private bar guild are the very same, the private bar association guild. British accreditation registry. British accreditation registry, bar guild. Attorneys, they're foreign to you, my people. Don't let them fool you. This is why I say the society is like this. This is why I say every politician now I try to say them a landowner and I grab people land all over. However, they can never get a allodial title. Impossible. And a time will come when every government employee shall be audited, a truly forensic audit, to separate them from the slave legacy and the illicit or the illegal or the unlawful gain or the theft where them thief the people's wealth. Politicians right now do that. Again, willful ignorance of us as a people running behind these flunkies. You're going on the news right now, them talking about Mark Golding and how Mark Golding is all of these things. The whole system is flawed. All of them need to go on a pirate. Because Michael Mann did really stand up for us as a people. I'm not sure about the rest. The trade union, which part of the people them used to work on sugar plantation, evolve into a political entity. That's why them take Bustamante out of jail, out of prison. This criminal to create the Jamaica Labour Criminal Party to go against the People's National Party at the time. Because the People's National Party was for the people and against the planters, against the colonizers, and against the colonists. So in order to bring conflict, them create a Jamaica Labour Party, which is, will create all of this thing from CIA-GA, CIA-GA, from that guy, foreign guy. Now, Mr. The issue what I'm talk about Commonwealth citizenship and Jamaican citizenship. People, I'm going to choose not to listen. Because we make them things clear. So the old passport list you as a dual citizenship. And as a dual citizenship, you don't need no visa for go foreign. But because the people choose to ignore truthful information, them allow the politician to dictate terms and conditions. The politician can do anything what them want to do. And have the people them like a slave, can't do nothing at all without licenses or some kind of permission. This is a trick. But again, willful ignorance. If you choose to be a fool, then nobody will say nothing about it, can actually do nothing about it. Because you make that choice. This is why I encourage my people. I could try to apply ourselves for ourselves. Don't trust them out there. Do not trust them out there. Whatever them say, qualify. If them present anything, make sure it's a sworn affidavit where them put them personal, commercial, legal liability on the line, financial liability on the line. This is where we give them credibility. Without that, they are not credible. I mean, I tell you that this is what's been happening, but it's so subtle, it's so simple, you'll miss it. All you have to do is have them validate, bring proof of whatever claim you present. That's it. Because once you bring a claim, you have to bring the proof to validate that claim. But we now request and ask for these things. We just make these sodomite, violate in all kind of ways without protesting, without choosing to at least attempt to stand up to this demonic system. And the people were operated. Without knowledge we lost, man. Truly. Canon 31:49, when a non-guild member, such as the regular man and woman of the private bar guild, is present in one of the guild building dealing with the primary business of the bar, being organized global profit for crime jobs, the private bar guild members seek to force either a plea of guilty or not guilty. A plea of guilty in a building controlled by the private bar guild is equivalent to saying, I will pay and tacit consent of liability for a debt or fine owed to the guild, and is consent to the lawful attainment of the flesh of the accused as surety until the debt or the fine is paid. Now, people, you see, because them are trying to detain the flesh of the accused as the surety. Why as the surety? Because you didn't create a distinction between you, the living man, and the legal entity, which is the surety. Because the moment them want to convict you, you should be able to bring the surety forward, and the surety should substitute your place, should take your place and protect you as the principal, as the primary guarantor. This is why the surety which is a legal entity which operates as a sophisticated financial instrument or a bank. This is why it was created. Isn't it obvious, my people? Because I'm go through my first-hand knowledge, you know. Me I tell you, say me I experience this. This is why me have it so clear. This is why the clarity is so crystal clear to I. You understand? My truth not necessarily will be your truth, because you know I'm not here for no child molestation. The government of Jamaica not have me in a court for no child molestation, for no shooting them up, for none of those criminal activity. Absolutely none of those things. It's a whole different thing from most of these people I see out there. Where them criminal from them born and them do all kind of immoral or amoral actions out there. We're not in a court for nothing like that, my people. We're in a court for the right to be free. That's why we're in a court. Because we have traveled freely, and state agency audacious enough asserting that we are not, and we should license our contract with their agency. You understand? Which is appalling, which is unlawful, and which carry a tort claim. Yeah, man. Title 18241 will express to you what these people are doing, and this is federal. It's all federal jurisdiction, my people. Yeah, man. To say a plea of not guilty in a building controlled by the private bar guild is equivalent to saying I refuse to pay with the presumption of liability for a debt or fine owed to the guild. We don't owe nothing to these foreign people. But belligerent refusal to pay is therefore permitting the lawful detainment of the flesh of the accused as surety. Now present the surety and go home until the debt or the fine is paid, and whatever debt or fine present itself, get the knowledge and discharge that mess. You understand? Make sure it's in an affidavit form, and make sure when them choose to rebut it, it have to be the very same way. Just like how you have your credibility by placing your commercial liability, personal, financial, legal, all of these things on the line. You require them to do the very same thing. I bet they won't. I bet these cross-dressing demonic agents will not. They cannot. How can they, when they have an oath of office to protect the people, to serve the people well, truly well, and to protect the laws, constitutional laws, not statutory, not even commercial. The commercial supersede, because commercial means contract, international contract. So that will supersede anything. This is why the Bill of Rights, the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom are so essential. People here on the island talk about constitution. The only constitution we can talk about is the Bill of Rights, my people. Anything or everything else is their internal organizational formulation. We're not business with what they want to do. What we want to make sure is them do not interfere with us as a people who choose not to participate in their political community. This is the distinction. This is the distinction, my people. More time we have to just give thanks when they're in a zone like this. At my age, I really appreciate the fact that the most I chose to bestow some of this kind of information on I. Truly. People can't get to this level until after 40. Before 40, you have to gather information to get to this level. You understand? And remember, my whole view is the political entity known as the government of Jamaica, or any corporate entity, can only interface with other corporate entities. If they're in a legal capacity, they can only interface with legal entities. And I get the distinction, my people. Hence, Them have a document which is a piece of paper that is such. But you now have to have the information to direct that instrument. If you do not, then they will have to administer that instrument for you. This is why then we have problem with a man like me. When these people come in front of me saying they are judge, I know different. I know they can only look at the two sides. Because I make sure I place information in that court so the judge have something to look at. So when the prosecutor, whoever that court clerk is, present anything in order to hustle or to fleece the birth trust, then you have to have information to counter or rebut whatever that demonic court clerk is placing there. None of them have any standing. Absolutely none of these people have standing. There is a officer, what's his name? Officer Morgan, bringing this claim. Him is the only one we have first-hand knowledge. And him is the only one we can prove damage. Him is the only one we can prove injury. And I guarantee, when him cannot prove that, you have to absolve me naturally. And then you will have to compensate me naturally. And this is law. You understand? I'm not a vibes cartel where I have to hire any kind of attorney. We don't need that. If Vibes Cartel right now link me, me guarantee within a month him come out of that, probably in 3 days. All me go do, who hold him, what that sodomite name at that prison, what's his name? And we'll bring a claim against him instantly. We'll bring a claim against his estate and exchange him for my client. These attorneys can't do these things. When you hear me talk and say them should get a habeas corpus, I know cartel attorney try that mess, but I know him not have the knowledge, irrespective of whether them purport themselves out there, because him is a guild member. He's restricted, he's limited, my people. All of this is just a show. All of it. And I'm afraid cartel might find some kind of legal mind for bring some personal claims against these people in a commercial form, affidavit form. And again, I'm just a speak from I perspective, I own opinion, because me have that right. Which sodomite can take that from me? None, because you have that very right. Yeah, to present your opinion. It's just that my opinion, is based on, factual information, due diligent research. That's the subtle difference. So when I talk loosely, and anytime you want to challenge me, step forward. We don't have an issue. The comment is always open, but me know I'm terrified somehow out there. Because if I don't come untidy, me I deal with them in kind. I'm not going to embarrass them. Very same way. When I don't come respectful, I deal with in kind. I reciprocate and show complete respect. But don't slap me and tell me turn the other cheek. I chop off your head and cook it. Canon 3150, contrary to the false claim of members of the private bar guild, bar association member, the plea or claim of not guilty is not the same as innocent. As innocent describe a complete absence of legal guilt. Brethren, you see that's why I'm like for reading up higher. I might not go be smart like the eye them out there in the brethren, but me I tell you, I might not try to apply myself. Let me repeat this. In contrast or contrary to the false claim, because these people always make false claims, just like police and Del Morgan is a big nasty false claims he make. When him and him superior officer A. Edwards, this senior superintendent or sergeant, senior sergeant of police for 30 years, he said. Done slight rat bat, but I don't think he's a bad man. I'm not going to lie to you. Irrespective of how I might talk, my energy not set. This old guy is a bad guy. He's not. I can't say he's. Him just in an old time ways. Him probably start working at the police force when you never have to qualify for read and you don't have to qualify for write. You don't even have to qualify for dress properly. That's how long them money in a thing. And him did I teach young Andel and our next brethren named Officer Porter, but Officer Porter was respectful. Look like him come from decent family. Good man. Him not give me no problem. If it was him alone, I go about my business. You understand? But when I get some people where unlearned, unread, and probably criminal in their mentality, because they're always hustling out there. I guarantee if me and L.A. Lewis did a par, wouldn't have no problem, because L.A. Lewis would have give them a bag juice or a buckle juice and a bun and piece of cheese and probably give them all a $5 grand or a 2-3 grand. L.A. Lewis would have do that. And then would have just gone with my old pro box and know say we're good, but because I'm not that type of man. You get me? Them are going to have issue because we have said truth, you know. We say freedom, freedom in and freedom mean. We know they have beg no favor from the state or a state agency. We're above that. We have said, uno a public trustee, uno a public servant, uno cannot fool me. No time. Uno, I work. Listen, I'm your boss, just like all the people. The people is you guys' boss. But the people don't know it. The people do not know how to express it. And the people do not know how to write an affidavit and take away every single thing we want to own, everything we want is going to own, and everything we want to have, including on a side mistress. We'll take that from her if she registered with the state. Because wives are fair game. But my people, I got to take them time and learn because we are share this information. People are going to do them own research and say, hold on, Nestorian King have a little point here, some man. Hold on. You know what I mean? And we're going to take our time and figure it out. And then eventually, we can live harmoniously where some police agents and, you know, them agents will see all a man like me and say, oh, them people are peaceful. Them people are lawful, leave them alone, and there will be no issues. Because we have more than enough problem with criminality what we don't create out there. More than enough problem. And this is why we share information where even the criminal now can open them eyes and open them ears and decide to move away from criminality and, you know what I mean, apply themselves accordingly. Even the criminal. But if them not have no alternative, then there is none. That's all it is. Again, contrary to the false claim of these bar member attorneys and them agencies, the plea or claim of not guilty is not the same as innocent, as innocent describe a complete absence of legal guilt, whereas not guilty presumes. Remember we said them all deal with presumptions and assumptions. Presume the existence of guilt and describe either A, belligerent refusal to pay, or B, a choice by the guild not to proceed with enforcing the payment of a debt. Now, this is probably the option where these bar member association might choose to take. Because this would be a smart option. However, even when you choose not to proceed with enforcing of payment of a debt, you still have to compensate for the wrong. The moment you step outside of the constitutional law, it makes you a criminal. And the constitutional law do not provide where a police can arbitrarily say a man on the road and just naturally kidnap him and steal his property and take him inside a foreign venue, legal process, in order to fleece his birth trust. How we know that's what they're doing? Because them issue me a recognizance bond, which is an access device to steal money from your birth trust when most people do not know them have. This is where your inheritance is. This is where your hereditament is. This is where your birthright is. This is why we call them territorial gangsters, because them create a system in order to oppress the people. That's what them system is in place for. It's a slave system. This is why them have the very same slave codes evolved now into what them are called for them law, statutory law. It's all sophisticated slavery, high people. Yeah, man. Canon 3151, in the private courts of the private bar guild, the member that brings the accusation of a debt is called the guiltor and is normally the pro se situs as they perform the perverse act of pretending to be both the flesh equivalent to the accused and beneficiary of the constructive trust being the suit. So the constructive trust is what I'm gonna call the Sestuic KV trust, is what I'm gonna call the birth trust. Them construct it. However, it was constructed for our benefit. Remember, if it's a trust relationship, how do you establish a trust relationship? Your mother as the grantor, by way of the birth application form to the birth hospital record, present that form, and the agency, the hospital, the agency, the state agency as recipient becomes the trustee, and the offspring, the mother's children, offspring, progeny, become the beneficiary. It's simple as that. So that's where the public trust is. We are always the beneficiaries. However, through silent deception, again, they'll trick us. They'll trick us, my people. It's just like when you go to buy a house. You go to buy a house and you say you want a loan, and you get a loan, but you don't walk out with any gold or silver or anything in your hands. The people just tell us, say, yes, you get the loan, you're accepted, you're approved, and you're gone. And then it's all book data entry, people. Where do you think them get that money from to lend it? From your private trust estate. That's what I'm really administering. That's what they're really administrating, your private trust estate, because you don't know about it. So when you see me I talk some way and I make some steps, this is how we make steps to control our affairs, our own business. Everybody have their own business, but you don't choose to mind other people's business because you're unaware of your birth business trust that is in place and created for your own benefit. You're unaware of it. Now we have attorneys that administrate these things. And then the attorneys purport themselves as if they are Lord God. They want people worship them until them come in front of man such as I, where I'll put them in their proper place. You don't speak in my court. No attorney without first-hand knowledge can open their mouth in my court. Absolutely none. I lick out them teeth. Yeah, man. No attorney. You know first-hand knowledge. And there's no way you can write any sworn affidavit to that fact. Impossible. Unless you're a witness. Darian Carey, salute King, salute. Just pass through this side. I normally I look over here so through me there in the documents. Honor me King, gratitude. As usual, we are share with information to the selected few, yet the general have access, the general public have access. But it's usually to the chosen, because only the chosen bring information a certain kind of way. If you're peculiar or a particular or a specific kind of people. Yes, sir. The accused is then considered the guilty, same pronunciation of guilty. Canon 3152, contrary to any claim, international, constitutional, or conventional law that assumes an accused is innocent until proven guilty, the private bar always presumes the accused holds the formal position of guilty. Same pronunciation as guilty. Guilty, same pronunciation as guilty. Regardless of plea, unless the private bar guild rules not guilty at the end of the trial or summary judgment hearing. Canon 3153. I think I left off the 3, yes, sir. An accused within a Roman court has 7 ancient and valid choice to reply to a demand for plea, none of which admit any commercial liability for debt or fine owed to the private bar guild. However, the member of the private bar guild frequently demand either a guilty or not guilty plea, and no other plea will be accepted. That's the truth. I have first-hand knowledge of this. My brethren Joel Jaguar C can testify to this. Where them always a demand plea. That's why you write on paper and put in them court and ignore them when them go on with themselves. And we share enough information to make them know. So now when we place a commercial lien on uno can't say boy nothing at all. Because when you get notice from here to Timbuktu, but on totally underestimate our mentality, on underestimate our capacity, on underestimate everybody because of foreign slavery. Everybody are slaves, so everybody dumb until now. Canon 3153, an accused, okay, guilty or not guilty plea, and no other plea will be accepted. 3154, a member of the private bar guild, such as a judge or a magistrate, that forces an accused to plead either guilty or not guilty to the exclusion of other valid plea means that without valid consent of the accused, the judge or magistrate accepts the debt and liability personally. You see that? That's why I'm saying we for all them people are accountable. Because all you hear them are going and go on. And through we lack knowledge make them get away with so much mess. Only because our lack of knowledge. Outside of that, we're going to crush them. See it here? A member of the private bar, these attorneys or these justices or this system, such as a judge or a magistrate that forces, this is what they normally do, I try force you. But when you can write on paper, them can't force nothing out of you. An accused to plead either guilty or not guilty to the exclusion of other valid plea means that without valid consent, that means that we nothing consent in nothing what them do. Nothing at all we not consent. Because I tell you right here. It has said without valid consent of the accused, the judge or magistrate, them accept the debt and liability personally. So when I say, oh, may I set up these people with time and the very information where, that is there, because law, play with commerce, a truth sovereign in a commerce. And this is why I say, the moment them present a sworn affidavit, placing them commercial, personal, legal liability, financial liability on the line, they are not credible. They are committing fraud. They are scammers. They are criminals, irrespective of how them look, my people. irrespective of how them look. Anyway, Article 288, we have looked upon plea. Canon 3145, a plea is formal prayer demanded within the Roman courts of the private bar guild in answer to a claim of controversies that formally establish the acknowledgement of the accused that jurisdiction has been perfected and the manner of law and procedure by which the accused requests the matter to be reviewed. And I want there to all day, but again, so when you go in and you make a formal plea, you really pray to these courts and I answer to the claim. So when you say I'm guilty, that's what you really do. Canon 3156, the word plea comes from the Latin word plea, is meaning literally a prayer to Rome. From Pleiades, the name of the 7 sisters, being an acronym for the 7 hills of ancient Rome. You hear that? It is a deliberate corruption of the ancient Roman legal principles of pleni or plenus. Literally meaning the accusation has been fully, completely, solidly, or abundantly stated, and the accused may evoke their second opportunity to speak their defense as collocation. And that how, yeah, them said to juxtapose, like say, yeah, counterclaim, put it that way. Canon 3157, in the absence of a valid plea, a matter cannot proceed, nor judgment be rendered. So I want to say why them are force you guys, them are forced with a plea inside of the court. Because without a plea, them cannot proceed. And no judgment can be rendered. This is why you say, them a draw me out, you know. Because when them come and them want this a plea, them a make all kind of offer. Me and tell them, so I'm not interested for contract with you people. If you people now, you know, bring some credibility. If you people now risk nothing at all. If you now put your own commercial liability on the line, then me can't contract with you. I'm going to slave when I can contract with like that. People with slave mentality or people with unaware. But as long as we are cognizant of what you people are, how demonic your construct is, then we're going to repel, we're going to rebut, and we're going to rebuff this demonic system and this demonic bar that is in place. We burn on the tone of core, man, because we don't mislead. We don't have no truth. It's the truth, yeah. Come rebut this truth. Say I'm lying. Truth is supreme in commerce, and truth is where we govern the earth. We have to move away from the fallacy and the lies. You get me? Of this demonic entity that's pervading this earth. We're going to burn it out, man. 3159. By definition, the entering of any kind of plea is tacit consent of the jurisdiction of the Roman court. Therefore, a member of the one haven, this is the location, or associated society, like how means associated, has only one legitimate reply to the Roman court and demand to plead in a formal response of the more. I think, okay, we don't have much more longer for us, so hang out with it, because more time I carry my thing, then it's kind of boring enough either. But the information solid, my people. Canon 3160. Once the Leucadian courts are operational and fair notice given to members of the one haven, any member charged by a Roman court with a serious offense, including the potential penalty of imprisonment for 2 years or more, is required to file the allegation of the offense into a valid Leucadian court prior to using their live-born record or status as a member within their demurrer or defense. The matter shall therefore be heard and adjudicated fairly in accordance with these canons and the charter and codes of law of their given society. So then place your location where you can really attach yourself to and learn some things, and you know what I mean? If you choose, you can link with these ones and get all kind of aid. In accordance with these canon, a member of the one heaven and any associated society may choose only one of two kinds of formal reply to a properly constituted Acadian courts, being either a reply to remit or reject. A reply to reject means the accused reject the fundamental premise and legal sufficiency of the complaint through a valid claim. And two, a reply of remit means the accused accept the fundamental premise and legal sufficiency of the complaint and jurisdiction of the court through a valid claim. So you can either accept or you can reject. It's always offer and acceptance. Canon 3162. When a member of the one, all right, now sufficient jurisdiction. These are more the people. Well, let me just go through it. When a member of the one haven or the advocate replies to a controversy with remit, only three types of valid claim exist, being mea culpa, exculpte, or nolo contendere. Mea culpa, also known as my mistake or fault, equivalent to guilty. Exculpte, also known as without blame or fault, or guilt, equivalent to not guilty. Or nolo contendere, also known as no contest. I remember playing no contest, but that is like pleading guilty too. Yeah, I remember when I was young and just get caught up. I think that was one of my pleas. I don't understand what was going on at the time. And I said, boy, I don't want to say guilty or innocent. I never contest it. Don't do something can go home. Canon 3164. An accused may choose only one prayer of remittance from two valid choices to offer the court. Remittere vene, also known as remit the indulgence, or respondere non debet, also known as the respondent cannot be bound or held liable as a claim of privilege. Breadfruit. I don't know how long I'm there so with this thing, but we just want to share this information, you know. So we bring some clarity and we have some kind of, you know, documentation of them things how we can draw back on. So what says the willful ignorance of the private chartered guilds of the Roman cult, the brutish territorial gangsters. So these politicians, like the government of Jamaica, is what would consider territorial gangsters by their actions. And when a police officer can arbitrarily, without delegation of authority from the Constitution, without lawful authority, can just take away your property and lock you up and do what they want with you, then that'll tell us about we in a trouble. Like. You understand? Simple. Because the Constitution, which is their supreme law, and the supreme law of the land, do not dictate that. Period. No dictate them things. But again, if we don't know, yeah, we just don't know. And it, you know, yeah, it's like non-existence. But you will know, yeah, you have to act upon what you know. And when them make presumption, you have to rebut it. And when them bring any kind of presentment, make sure say it's so enough for David. Outside of that, them scam you. Them act unlawfully, them act illegally, and them act inappropriately. But if you're unaware, then they'll get away with it. They'll always get away with it because we not lack knowledge and not teach with these things here. How can they? If them for teach what we supposed to know, them cannot rule over us. Them cannot claim no kind of imaginary jurisdiction over us. They cannot control us. This is why we say self-directing, sovereign, self-governance. We don't want a politician not giving a talk. Talk to the parents. I hear it out there where them say some of them politicians are bastard. Some of them mother was tabletop dancer. And them is the one who want to come give you all kind of talk. This is why them now have no morality up there, because them now come from good home. Them now come from a good foundation. So this is why at the head, it's amoral, immoral. And then when the body follow, then them, persecute the body when them at least persecute the head. Anyway, as usual, we'll pass through and share with information and so step by step. I love my DIGICEL. That's my favorite internet provider. We are better together, truly, than apart. Truly. So I give thanks. I'm still there out here. There them I get it? Subliminally? I hope so. Because we talk in a parable. Parabletically. Yeah, man. That's how we go on. Parable. Yet, yeah, them can, cipher the information easily. Anyway, complete gratitude for the time, complete gratitude for the moment. The willful ignorance of the bar attorneys. Clap it up on them out there. Clap it up. Because we know good there. But we don't meet none we're good yet. And we don't see none out there where we can't say we're good. Burn them people. Burn them to them core. Because them not have no truth. Them not have no standing. And them not have no credibility. Challenge them. And let them bring forth them validity. Prove your claim. Prove it. Complete gratitude. Free people. This attorney, in fact, not at their statutory law, in fact, non-guild member.